Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. Hey, folks, how's it going?
Wilson, how are you doing, man?
Hey, I'll tell you right, me and Jimmy go way back, and I'm like, he's got another show? Brother's working.
Listen, Jimmy's like the most hard-working man in the business.
Playing different roles, saying yes to everything. No, we're only kidding. We're here, season 2. Obviously, what are we getting from Lizzie that's different from season 1?
I think the difference you're getting this time round is a bit of a kind of more hardened Lizzie than we met in season 1. Season 1, she's very new to the job. She's a rookie. She's quite naive and kind of rushes into things without thinking. Whereas season 2, she's you know, in quite a short space of time, she's been through a lot. She's witnessed a really traumatic event, and I believe that had to have a change. She had to have a change from witnessing that, and so I think she's got a bit more edge to her this time, definitely, and that's what I wanted to bring to Lizzie this season.
You know, with Steve, he seems a little bit more confident and more like cocky than before. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think Steve definitely, you know, he had pivoted after the end of season 1, and I think he's content in his work. Like he's a man that likes to stay busy, Wilson, you know, and I think the way he's coming across confident, I think in season 1, he was observing a lot, you know, the higher ups, he was holding his tongue, where I think he just got to the place, I think the situation with Lizzie just said, enough is enough. I need to speak my mind. And you know what I mean? I need to not hold back. And I really enjoyed just seeing those moments where he's different in the interview room and you see him confronting Kieran's character about the phone. And so it's just nice to show the different side to him. It's always been there. Like there's always been a confidence with the silence and him watching people. But in this season, we really get to see, you know, Steve open up a bit.
You know, it's more like confidence comes with experience and time. And, you know, obviously with time, we see Lizzie gaining more of that because in the early days, or as we see early, you know, she's playing catch up. She's back at the job. And at the same time, you know, they got her. No one wants to buy into her, the goodness and so forth, until she's like, as you mentioned, get hardened up. Take it back, you know, for those who are coming into new to this, what led you to say yes to taking on this project?
Why?
Yeah, what led you to say yes?
I think at the time, I've never done a police drama or a crime drama before, and I remember saying like, I think it was 2021 we filmed this, yeah, and I remember like thinking, I want to do a crime drama, like I want to do a crime drama. I want to play detective. I want to play a policewoman. And when, you know, and I read a load of scripts and auditioned for quite a few others, and I just found them really confusing. Like a lot of the time with crime dramas, I find it really confusing. I get confused with who the characters are. They don't have very clear personalities. They're all like, everyone kind of melds into the other. And when I got the scripts for The Tower, I was like, this is really good. And I was reading page after page, like wanting to just find out what happened next. And I thought that's a really good, a good indicator of potentially how this is going to look when it ends up on the screen. And that was like, it just came down to the writing. And Patrick Harbinson, who did an incredible job from taking it from the books to the screen. That's kind of what got me hooked, to be fair.
Jimmy, obviously this was a totally different departure from playing Jeffrey. Was this before or after?
Yeah, similar. This was before, you know, we were just coming out of the pandemic, Wilson, and, you know, I had done quite a bit of comedy. I just done sort of In the Long Run with Idris Elba and Kate and Koji with Brenda Blessing, and then I did Most Dangerous Game, but that was just like a quibby thing that came and went. But I was ready to get my teeth into something dramatic. But I'm not gonna lie, when you get a script come through from someone like Patrick Harbinson, I'm a big fan of Homeland and, you know, ER and all those shows that he's been a part of. same as Tahirah, I'm not lying. It was a page turner. It was a page that I flew through the first script so quickly that I was like, I really want to be a part of this. And I could see, you know, I think I ended up audiobooking one of the first books, and I could see where the story was going, but I could also see what I could bring to it in terms of, you know, what would this story look like now in 2022 or 2021 at the time. And also I could see what Patrick was trying to say, especially with the Metropolitan Police, and especially with Steve being a Black police officer that is experienced. He has got confidence. He has seen stuff. You know, you've got a lot of history within him already without us actually talking about and saying it. And I wanted to bring that to the screen. And I think that really comes into play with the end of season 1, and it's continued where he's like, Lizzie, you got to stay in this game, be a good cop. We need more officers like you. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, things aren't going to change.
Tahirah, did you go into background in terms of get an idea as to what a police officer goes through, a Black police officer goes through, you know, before just taking on a role?
Yeah, I think, you know, because that's one of the things that changed, you know, significantly. I think for both me and Jimmy's roles, I think in the books, both of our characters were white, and you know, I really was respected Patrick for making these characters Black, because I just think it just made it contemporary, it made it modern, it made it, you know, London, you know, 2023, and just more representative of the types of, you know, police people that are out there on the street. So I think for me, it was about honing into Lizzie's backstory and why she wanted to even become a police officer in the beginning, because exactly for a Black person, you know, like especially in London, in South London, to make that choice, it's something that's going to be questioned probably quite a lot by you know, their family members and other people in the community. And so I don't think I spoke to anyone. I think I read an article, and there was an article about this, I think it was from the perspective of her brother or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was this this guy had just written a piece about, and I think they were from South London, and they were, you know, quite young, and it was about his sister's decision to become a police officer and the impact that decision had on the family. And I found it was so interesting, and I think I took a lot of that on for Lizzie.
Congrats on the roles, congrats on the series, job well done. I'm sure hopefully we can get a season 3, see where these characters are going. Wherever you guys are at, stay safe, take care.
Thank you, Wilson. See you soon, man. Take care.
Yeah. Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. How's it going?
Good, thank you. Hi.
Good. So we're here, season 2. Does one need to catch up on season 1 to get an idea as to what's happening with Sarah Collins?
Yeah, I'd watch it from the beginning. Just it's really good. I mean, I'm allowed to say that, but it's, yeah, I think it would stand alone if you want to just hit the ground running at season 2, but it's worth seeing season 1 to understand, like, you know, what's going on and where everyone's at, which part of the forest everyone's in season 2.
Where are we now with Sarah? She's now, you know, in the homicide division, still, you know, has to go through the old boys network. She's smart, but at the same time, I see her as playing by the rules in order to please everyone, you know, but she looks like she's ready to burst into like, listen, I know what I'm doing, let me be.
Yeah, I feel like she's been in a game long enough to know that she has to just jump through the hoops and go through the motions in order to like prove again that she's a great police officer. And I think, yeah, sometimes she's just I think she reaches Homicide Command. She's full of like, you know, sort of fresh energy for the new job, and very quickly she's like sidelined into a cold case, and she's like, Mommy. She's just got to breathe in and take it and go the long way around to prove that she can do this. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Sometimes she's just like, just fucking trust me. I'm good at this.
Now I know we're in season 2 already, but you know, just going back a bit, do you do your own sort of background in terms of like who she was prior to becoming a full-fledged DS, and and how much of a deep dive did you do into the procedures that these people go through in real life?
So I spoke at length with Kate London, who's the author of the books and who is also a former detective. A lot of the supporting artists on set are former detectives. Have you lost it? Is it stuck? Oh, it's there, look. There you go. A lot of the supporting artists, former detectives, so they were a rich seam to tap. And yeah, I think Sarah, for my mind anyway, I didn't like do much backstory work in terms of what she might have done, but my idea was that she had always wanted to be a police officer, that it was in the family, and that she was, that was what she wanted to be, and she went to police college and did it ABC, down the line, like she always does, to get where she wanted to get to.
Granted, a lot of people know you from what your role was on Game of Thrones. This is a whole different departure. This is something new. It's like, oh, she's not as tough as I thought she would be.
Yeah.
People, when you give that sort of persona, for a role that you had earlier, it's sort of like people want to see something strong. And granted, you're still playing a strong character. But what goes into saying yes to the projects you take?
This one was script for me initially. Obviously it was going to be my first lead, which was very exciting. And then the script and, prior to the audition, just sort of hit me that, like, as I read the script, that like everyone's got a point. It's really hard to see who's right and who's wrong in this, because you can see everyone's point of view. And I thought that was fascinating, that like often it's like, here's the bad guy and here's the good guy. It's like, actually, no, there's like loads of ways to, did you run? There's loads of ways to skin a cat, but like who's right and which way's the right way. And I think that's what I loved about it. It was just like I could see everyone's story and everyone's point of view, and that was really exciting, I think. So yeah, that along with the fact that like really important issues are being addressed within the police force, which I think always need a light shining on them. So yeah, it was
having been, you said it was a lead, and you've been a part of other projects. Working with directors and writers, what part of your skill set has improved now that you're in a different, bigger role than previously?
Oh, that's a lovely question. I think, yeah, just the machinations of a film set, I guess. When I started Game of Thrones, I'd never been on a film set before. I didn't know, apart from the odd sort of comedy bit part in a sitcom, I didn't know what the language was around it, even what hitting your mark was. Like I was so green. So I think now I feel really confident on set with like everyone's role and what goes into it and what the role I play within the hierarchy, and yeah, just feeling really at home, I suppose, on film set now, and really part of it, and able to have a voice, I suppose, where I might have been shy before. Like now I can understand like how to have your say without overstepping marks. So yeah.
Are you a fan of this genre, procedural drama?
Yes, I love detective dramas. I've loved them. I used to watch Murder, She Wrote and Columbo. I mean, who didn't? But I used to watch them on loop when I was younger. I've always been fascinated by, and Inspector Morse that played out here a lot, which I think, will be probably on BritBox as well. But yeah, just loads of really brilliant crime dramas. I've loved them since I was a kid, and I think most people do. There's a real appetite for it, isn't there? There's sort of that hunger for like watching these awful things unfold, but not being part of them.
When did you feel you were Sarah Collins? It takes a while before an actor can say, okay, this is my role. Obviously, once you're greenlit for season 2, you're going to play this character again. There's a sense of stability, and there's a sense of like, this is not just a one and done. At what point did you say, okay, I got this. This is now me, even though, this is not a typical 8 to 10 episode series, but it's 2 seasons now.
But you know what? Weirdly, very early on when I read the script, I was like, I think I know this woman. I think I relate to her in many ways. Like I think I could be her. I think so quite early on, I felt like an affinity with her at least. And then, yeah, I think being granted a season 2 is always like a great sort of affirmation of your work, isn't it? And yeah, to sort of build and grow and work further on her, and then also be given 4 episodes, rather than 3, to sort of flesh out her personal life and her background, and really sort of bed in with the qualities we sort of marked out in season 1.
And I just gotta ask. Obviously, have you been catching up, or do you even pay attention to House of the Dragons?
I haven't watched any of it because I don't have the platform here. That's the only reason.
What?
I really
No
want
HBO?
No, I don't have HBO. I subscribe to like so many channels, and like if we get another, I'll be bankrupt. So I have to like we roll them around. Like we get Disney every now and again, then we get Netflix. So maybe the next one will be the one that has House of Dragons on it. I think it's on Hulu, is it? Maybe, I don't know, or Now TV. Anyway, Sky. Okay, no, we don't have Sky. So no, I haven't watched it, but I would, if anyone wants to hook me up with some subscriptions, then I'll watch it.
So where do we see you next then?
Next in this, actually, this is the next thing that's out. Yeah.
This is coming up,
So
but it's been shot. It's been done. Is there anything else
it's been done. It's coming out. And yeah, I'm about to start shooting a second series of something called D.I. Ray, which is another police drama. So yeah, I'm around.
And every time I watch this, I always got to make sure I say it right. DSDC, what is the difference? For people who have no idea.
Detective Constable, like one's better than the other, but I don't know why. Detective Constable is lower than Detective Sergeants. Yeah, it's just ranking. That's all it is. But yeah, maybe you don't get to wear uniform. One of them's got a uniform. I forget. I filmed it a year ago. Don't shoot me.
Hey, you did well. Congratulations on the role. Congratulations on the series. Let's keep this show going. I'm sure, if there's an audience there now, just keep growing, because I think once you get into season 2 or 3, there's a sense of stability there, so people can now latch on. People don't try to latch on if it's only in one season. So, and because it's a shortened season, it's easy to watch.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, here's to season 3 and 4 and 5, guys.
Keep it going. Have yourself a good one.
Thank you very much, Wilson. Bye-bye. Bye.